Love this game, and I love it too. Let's get into it. Zest versus Trap, game number 4. Can Trap tie this series, or will Zest edge it out to match point? It's all about the trophy on stage here. It's all about this World Championship. History in the making for both of these Protoss players. Both of them want to go home with the money and with those WCS points and with that trophy in hand as well. In the top right here on Deadwing, winning the last game. Can he tie it up? This is Jin Air's Trap. And in the bottom right from KT Roster, this is Zest.
So for a lot of you who may not know Zest last year, I've already mentioned it a few times that he was considered the best Protoss in StarCraft 2. He was also nicknamed the Kingslayer, as he was able to beat the very best StarCraft players on the biggest stages. This is another huge stage for both these players. They have never, ever played on something of this level of magnitude. It is huge. It is almost once in a lifetime to be able to be on that stage. 16 world-class players went head-to-head over the last couple of days. Only 2 players remain to fight for the difference of prize money. $40,000 difference just on this series. First place taking 60, second taking just under 20. And of course, the chance to get their name written and engraved on the World Championship trophy.
And it will be there forever. Their name will live on forever for the history of the Intel Extreme Masters if they can become champions here today.
Okay, Deadwing is the next map here that we've loaded into. It's one of the bigger maps that we've got in the StarCraft 2 map pool. And usually you see pretty safe builds played out by players because of the map size. You don't see super aggressive plays, and usually you can see quite a lot of long-term games. So we'll see if that's going to be the common pattern here, as Trap, scouting through the middle of the map with his probe, is looking to see if Zest was playing against how the map plays. Because of the map being quite a big size, you usually see players play quite greedy, cut a couple of corners and take sometimes a pretty fast expansion. You can play against that and try to proxy a gateway in the middle of the map very early on to look for a very fast win.
Oh, and this Stargate going down here for Trap is actually a close air distance from Zest. He's not aware of it just yet. He will be now.
Yeah, and this is good for Trap. He's got a Stargate facing his opponent early on, and he knows now by process of elimination, because you can't spawn to the top left here because of balance reasons. You can only spawn, as you can see, in these positions. It's going to be cross position or it's going to be vertical.
Yeah, process of elimination.
But the way that Zest is open, 2 gateway again, Mothership Core scouting. He's moving up with the Mothership Core, and he's going to see the Stargate where it's positioned.
Both players just kissing there in the grass as they go through. I'm not sure if they're aware, but looks like Zest is aware. He's spotted the location here of Trap's probe. He does take it out with the Stalker.
And this is very nice for Zest. He's opened up with this very scout-heavy build, as we've seen multiple times already through the series. That Stalker shouldn't be enough to push this back. If he just pokes forward a little bit here, he's going to see the Stargate, he's going to see the Oracle, and he can prepare his defense. It's a great scout.
Incredible. So
very nice scout.
Information, what it's all about here in the early game of StarCraft 2.
And with this information, he now shouldn't take any damage to this Oracle, which is looking to threaten the mineral lines. He should have units in position. The Mothership Core is on its way back. Currently, there are 2 Stalkers. Maybe we'll see a couple of probes go down if he kind of ignores the fact that the Stalkers are firing on it. And Trap, realizing that this has been scouted, is investing into a second Oracle. That's big commitment. And if he doesn't deal damage after spending so much money on 2 Oracles, well, he's simply in a lot of trouble.
It's a lot of gas, Apollo. And speaking of a lot of gas, he's getting a Twilight Council behind this as well.
And Zest is already planning maybe a counterattack, depending on how well this defense goes. He knows that with investment to 2 Oracles, the unit count, the production, and other tech is drastically slowed down, and he can counterattack in a beautiful window.
1 Oracle coming in here, getting 2 probe kills and pulling back.
Nice that he didn't show the double Oracle, by the way. He only showed 1, but Zest is already on the other side of the map. What really does Trap have left at home to defend?
It actually doesn't look like much at all. He's got his Mothership Core. He is warping in Stalkers now because he is getting Blink. This probe moving out. Zest moving his Stalkers. He is going to get his Stalkers spotted here.
And now Trap is like, oh, okay. He's on my side of the map. I've got to warp in units. I've got to get Blink of my own.
Yeah,
and I like that Zest has expanded behind this too. He's putting a lot of pressure onto Trap to either deal damage and not lose the game outright, but he just simply is calm. Throws down an expansion. Trap isn't sure what's going on. He's completely in the dark.
Two Oracles coming in. They have been detected now by Zest. And he's defending very well with these couple Stalkers here. Loses one sentry. It doesn't lose any Oracles as a result.
Yeah, loses a sentry. 2 in total there, as he did have 3. And is he going to see the Nexus now? He has a quick look and is like, oh, wait a minute. You've got a Nexus. Okay. So now Trap can either expand himself, which is more than likely going to be the case, as he's safe to do so.
Ooh, Oracle getting touched up a little bit there, but she does still live. Trap's Oracle control has actually been incredible this entire event.
So even though we're 8 minutes into the game, look at the income difference between the both of them. And now another Oracle goes down. Great pick off there by Zest finding that. Unfortunate for Trap. But the income difference between the two of them is already 100 minerals or 200 minerals difference per minute. That's a lot. And with a faster Nexus being played by Zest, he's going to actually further that.
This one Oracle has no opening left anymore. Zest's taken that away from Trap, and especially with that second Oracle being down, he can't hit on 2 fronts at once in that mineral line. He has his own Blink Stalkers. He's going to take out this pylon.
Yeah, that's nice. Little structure on the edge in a bit of a loose position, so that's picked off.
Yeah, taking away a bit of main vision there. Trap sees the proxy pylon of Zest as well, so he'll clean that up eventually, and drops a robo facility back at home.
Yeah, robotics facility for observers, for immortals, for potentially Colossus. And now we see the Oracle using one of its spells, Revelation, that he can see this army at all times. So he knows where it is it attacking, is it defending? As you can see through his vision, he also got the Mothership Core and the Nexus. With these, or the units next to the Nexus, he can see what's going on.
Yeah, so he's keeping Zest honest here. He knows that most of his army, or all of his army, in fact, is actually down here on this side of the map, which gives him a bit of breathing room.
But because of how unsuccessful the Oracles were, Zest does have a better economy. He leads the game by 6 or 7 workers, which is pretty substantial.
And considering Trap went double Oracle as well. Oh, actually, hold that thought. We've got a bit of engagement here with some Blink Stalkers. Even with the Vision spell, Zest feels confident enough to move down the ramp here and take out a few Stalkers of Trap and just force him back.
Trap destroyed the Mothership Core. The Mothership Core is down. There is a photon overcharge, but with the Mothership Core down, the mineral lines could be exposed. And right now, Trap is behind in economy by 6 workers. So let's say this Oracle gets 6 workers. Well, whoop-de-doo, Maynard. Back to an equal game, if not in the lead if he gets more. He's waiting for this chance. So look at his Stalkers. Outside, I would imagine Trap is going to bait the Stalkers, try to drag them out, and then go in with the Oracle.
It would be a pretty sick play.
Here we go. His
but another
Stalkers
charge is
on the
done. Another Mothership Core down here, but of course doesn't have energy yet.
There's the Stalkers. He's like, hey, follow me, guys. Follow me. They're not following it, though.
The bait. He hasn't taken the bait at all.
It was a good effort, though.
Yeah. Nice decision there from Trap. A good play, but Zest all over this.
All right, so we're going to move on to the mid-game here. Unfortunately, Trap wasn't able to equalize with that, so Zest does have a little bit of a lead. He's got his robotics bay on the way, just finished up with his forge, and Trap is going to have a look inside the main base. What tech has he chosen? Has he gone for Archons like we saw in the previous game? Does he want to play Colossus? Has he gone for a high gateway count that could threaten my game 4 here? And he goes in. What does he see?
Double Phoenix here do see that robotics facility. Have they scouted the scary tech here? They see that forge, and there it is.
So he sees the robotics bay. That's a great scout. He knows that his opponent is climbing towards Colossus, and even though it's a good scout, it's only a good scout for him to feel comfortable that nothing crazy is happening. So he has his own robotics bay. He has extra gateways being added on, and he's just going to continue to probably what we'll end up seeing. Both players take a third base. There's no openings. There are no windows where either player can attack for a kill.
Yeah, that's right. So going to be a little bit of a lull in the action here as both players power on until the mid to late game. Third Nexus going down for Trap. Zest third Nexus not down yet.
Not yet. But will it come down soon?
Oracle of Trap heading across the map looking for any kills he can, but these 3 Stalkers have just been there the whole game.
An observer of Zest has seen the third Nexus, so he now needs to make a choice. Third Nexus of his own, or does he try to threaten and fight this place?
Similar to what Trap did on the last map on Barney Research Station.
But he has chosen to put his Nexus down. If you look at the production tab, to the top left, very similar. Third Nexus coming in, Thermal Lands, Colossus, Zealot Charge, +1 attack finishing up. Very, very similar. Very close game number 4.
That's right. Extended Thermal Lance is going to be finished for Zest a little bit earlier, so he'll have extra range there on that Colossus. Zealot leg speed going down for both players, but a slight upgrade advantage for Trap. He's just a little bit ahead on the +1.
Just a little bit. So a big play we could see soon. What happens if one of the players decides to go for the Tempest that we saw in game 1, which is very successful against Colossus play? Does one player want to risk? And I say risk because it's a lot of money to do so, and it is a perfect opportunity for the other player to attack into you. Oracle does go down, so no more probes are going to be killed. Does one player want to risk trying to go up to Stargate?
And it looks like Zest is the one to take the risk here.
All right. So this becomes a quite simple game to understand how the next part's going to be playing out. Zest is investing into building the fleet beacon once the Stargate is done and adding Tempest to be able to destroy his opponents to Colossus, to keep his alive, doing damage for a longer time. But it is going to take a lot of time for him to get up to this position. If Trap scouts it, that is the next big point. If Trap scouts it, he knows exactly what to do, and what to do is to go for an attack before it's ready.
And he's getting a Templar Archives back at home, so he can get the Archon count up to go up with these charge lots. It's a very, very, very powerful composition, and the Templars are being warped in now. An Observer picked off there. So Trap losing that does mean that Zest is going to keep his alive and move in towards the third. Trap moving out just a little bit.
Funny enough, Trap has actually gone for the fleet beacon too. I think we're both going to have they're both going to go for it.
Yeah, in fact, Trap's is earlier.
Yeah, so they're actually both going to be building what they think is the ideal ultimate army that Protoss can build. And then it's going to be, I suppose, War of the Worlds between these two.
That's right. Laser beams going to be going down with lots of shots here from the Tempest. The hallucinated Phoenix comes in, does see the Stargate. And he's got all the information he needs here.
Yeah, second Stargate is already telling enough that the fleet beacon should be there.
Yeah, just looks like that Phoenix is, he thinks his job is done. Everything done here for Trap, and it's all lining up. Trap's keeping that upgrade advantage, +3 already on the way.
Yeah, that's nice. That's very nice to have. An upgrade advantage over your opponent gives you a massive edge when the fight actually takes place.
Yep, heavy, hard-hitting ground army. 2 Tempests at a time coming down for Trap back at his side of the map. So he's going to get that count out pretty quickly here, and they are a Colossus's worst nightmare. And Zest, his army is kind of just positioned in a position where he might just want to run through, maybe get a cancel on his 4th Nexus.
Again, both of the players realize that it's very difficult to kill my opponent. My army is very slow and it's very powerful. If I try to attack him, he could prepare and stop me, and then I'm going to lose the game if I lose my army because it's such a slow and expensive one. So neither of them are able to go for that killing strike.
The Observer of Zest saw the movement army of Trap here, and with a lot of Blink Stalkers, he's going to come in and pick up 1 Tempest, move in towards the third and see what else he can get done here. Time Warp going down, not enough, just enough energy now for a photon overcharge if he needs it. He's going to go up into the main with the Blink Stalkers and see what he can get done. He can escape if he needs.
A bit of action here.
Yeah, he's actually going to go all the way in with these Stalkers and see how much he can get through as he moves into the main. Just 5 probes going down so far, picking up tech as he's on the way through. Trap's going to clean this up, but how much is he going to lose? It doesn't look like he's going to lose much at all.
The thing is here, Stalkers aren't that needed anymore. So he was willing to give these away to pick off a Tempest, which helps him grow his size and grow his Tempest count larger. And then he also did a bit of probe damage too. And so it's very nice to sacrifice these units as long as you replenish them with the right ones that you need. So right now, Zest is kind of molding the perfect army, getting rid of the bad ones, adding in the good ones.
He is down in supply for the time being, only just by a little bit, by 10 supply.
Yeah.
Pretty even worker count. So both players are quite even here, but Trap with the upgrade advantage.
But look at this, Zest has got the mothership with his army,
Yeah.
which is pretty big. His units are completely invisible unless detection is around, which is going to be very hard for Trap to engage into. Obviously, if he can't see the army, how is he going to kill it?
It's a really good question. The answer is he can't.
Exactly. So again, both players going to take a 4th. 2 more Stargates have been added on by Zest, an additional 2 to what he already has. And he's already building 3 Tempests. He could build 5 at a time. So it's not just that he could build 5 at a time and add to a massive army now, it's that when a fight takes place, he can rebuild much faster.
He's also got +1 attack for the air army as well, just finishing there on the cybernetics core.
Right.
And Trap gonna drop some more gateways back at home. And his army is just sitting pretty here at the watchtower, but Zest starting to press the issue. The Tempest leading the charge. Some of the Stalkers of Trap moving in, but there are invisible units back here. And without detection, he has to pull back.
At this stage of the game, replenishing expensive units is very, very difficult. So a lot of gateways being added on at this stage is usually very important because you can flood with simple units to overwhelm before it gets too late or before he rebuilds his army.
So this Oracle drops the vision spell on the mothership there, and it actually can detect as well. So they may come into play to move on here. And Trap gonna take a sneaky 5th Nexus all the way in the top left here, hoping that Zest doesn't spot that.
All right, this Tempest count is getting insane for Zest. He's currently at 11 to 7. So not only is he going to be able to defeat his opponent's Colossus, but he takes control of the sky. This is what Zest is investing into. And this is big. This is a nice play. He may be able to pick off the mothership. But as we see, Trap is investing more so in replenishing with a lot of gateway units to swarm his opponent before he is ready to rebuild. This is going to be an interesting fight when these two take place.
That's right. So Trap looking to win the fight on the ground. Zest looking to win it in the skies.
Correct.
And he is ruling the skies right now. This Tempest count. 5 Stargates back at home pumping out Tempests. And Zest dropping 6 gateways. So he's going to try and make up for the weakness on the ground as well in the meantime when he remaxes this. Both players are maxed at this point.
All right. Engagement, very important. Position important. Spreading out important. And finally, after almost the 25 minutes of this game, a large fight will take place. And who has the better army? Is it the air one, or is it the player who has a lot more on the ground?
This mothership of Trap is a little bit hurt here. Oh, a pick off in the Archon there with those, God, Tempest.
he sees that mothership. He used the spell. Zest can see his opponent's mothership. So if the Tempest can use their long range to snipe it, he'd go into the fight with a big edge, obviously, because he'd be invisible and his opponent wouldn't. Observers and keeping them close to your army is going to be very important.
Trap spreading his units out here.
Here we go.
There's the engagement. All the Tempests of Zest doing the damage in the air. He's tearing apart the Tempest of Trap. The mothership is dead, and the Colossus is going to fall pretty quickly here. How's it going on the ground here for Trap? The army of Zest in the sky is definitely winning the fight. Trap pushing through on the ground, a warp in from Zest on the bottom, but those Stalkers can't change things up here.
And the air army stands strong here, Maynard, as they are delivering the damage over to these units. They're trying to run away, but they can't combat this. They're running, they're trying to hide. A new wave has been warped in here, but the Tempest 9 to 1. This is big here for Zest. They destroy these units very easily if they're close.
These Colossus are almost useless, and more damage being done to Trap here as he loses 2 Immortals, pulling all the way back.
Trap is on the run. He knows he's in trouble because of what that just happened and how he lost that fight. But he's chosen to use 4 Dark Templar to come around the side. Does this bring Zest back away from the kill to Trap? He can kill the cannon easily. There's no detection. He could kill the Nexus.
And he's going to, right-clicking on that Nexus. Zest looking like he's going to put in some counter damage as well. Trap coming back to pick another fight.
All right, Trap is going to have to defend this with everything that he's got. He's destroying his opponent's economy back at home. That's a big pickup with the Nexus, but he has to find a way to kill off this army. How can he kill the Tempest? He needs a high amount of units that can shoot up. And currently, only 13 Stalkers are available, and those are going to have a hard time getting close when there are so many Zealots. The army is simply just better for Zest.
Absolutely. And he's done the damage here. Trap killed that Nexus, but Zest's army is just better than Trap's right now. Trap has a lot of minerals in the bank. He's not making Zealots, he's just taking it. He's got this extra base in the top here, which is unscouted.
How do you stop the amount of Tempests in the sky? That is what Trap has to figure out. Otherwise, he's going down 3 games to 1. It's so important to tie this series up to get that momentum back swinging in his way.
His army's pulling up here, but even if the army comes here, can he pick the fight? He has a lot of Zealots that are charging in. Zest, Tempest, unadulted.
Stalkers could blink from behind and maybe get underneath these Tempests.
And they're coming to join the fight. The 3 Colossus on the ground as well. The Archon helping out a little bit against the Stalkers. They are blinking. They are targeting down the Tempest, but they're targeting them down a little bit slowly here. The Stalkers are starting to dwindle, and the Archons are going down as well. Zest is powering through Trap right now with his superior army. Actually, the Tempest of Trap are pulling in, and they are cutting into these numbers.
Right,
Warping in some Stalkers. And they're starting to pick up the Tempest one by one. The Zealots of Trap are holding the Zealots of Zest, but Zest Zealots are pushing through these Bleakstalkers. It's just not enough at the moment.
It's incredibly close here, incredibly close, but there's still 4 Tempests remaining. He needs to get rid of these Tempests. The reinforcements from Zest are so far away, he doesn't have a pylon close. Another one is going to go down here. One targeted!
There it is, he targets it, and it does go down. The army of Zest is going to reinforce the Tempest here.
An Archon's going to be made to help out. He's trying to micro these big units back. Another one goes down.
And another Tempest goes down. 2 still in the sky, though. Zest pressing the issue here. He's still not done with Trap. He's going to push through and probably take out this Nexus.
And shields are starting to regenerate on these Tempests. This is bad for Trap. He has to get rid of them, but he's losing steam. He's lost his 4th base from earlier. He's losing this one as well. It is over.
GG! Zest takes it up to match point here in the World Championship Grand Finals in Katowice. 3 games to 1. Trap on the ropes.
In a very, very, very close battle there towards the end, but Zest moves a single map away from being crowned the 2015 Intel Extreme Masters World Champion. A massive moment here from Zest. The recovery of 2015 has been remarkable. In Star League, didn't qualify. GSL, didn't qualify. He's losing game after game in Pro League, but here, on the biggest stage of them all, he's up 3 games to 1 in the big final.
It's match point for Zest, and it's crunch time for Trap. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, game number 5 between Zest and Trap will be next.